Right, got a couple of jokes, two jokes. First one, there's a butcher in his shop, and he's behind the counter, and one day a dog walks in with a shopping basket in his mouth. He walks up to the counter, he puts the basket onto the counter, goes into the basket, he pulls out a little purse, puts it on the counter, goes into the basket and he pulls out a piece of paper, puts it on the counter and he pushes it towards the butcher. Butcher picks up the bit of paper and he reads it, and on the paper it says, "Please put these items in the dog's basket and tell him how much it costs. Tell him the total price." So the butcher does it. There's quite a few things on this list. Puts everything in the basket. He looks down at the dog. He says £9.75. Dog's looking up at him. Opens the purse with his mouth and he takes out exactly £9.75. Puts it on the counter. Puts the purse back in the basket. Picks the basket up and walks out the door. And the butcher's there thinking, I just witnessed that. That is absolutely amazing. Anyway, a few days later, same thing happens again. Dog walks in, shopping basket hanging from its mouth. He puts the basket on the counter, takes the purse out, takes a bit of paper out, pushes it towards the butcher. Butcher has a look at the paper. "Please put these items in the dog's basket. Tell him the total cost." So the butcher does that. Looks down at the dog. He says £5.45. Dog's looking up at him. Opens the purse with his mouth. Takes out exactly £5.45. Closes the purse. Picks it up. Puts it back in the basket. All with his mouth. Picks up the basket. And walks out the door. There's no one in the shop. So the butcher thinks to himself, right, I'm going to follow this dog, see what he does when he leaves the shop. So he locks the door. He follows the dog down the street. The dog walks up to a pedestrian crossing. It's on red. Sits down, puts the basket on the pavement. He's there looking up at the light. As soon as the light turns from red to green, picks up the basket, walks across the road. Butcher follows him down the street. He stops. The dog stops on the pavement by an empty crisp packet on the pavement. Puts the basket down, goes up to the crisp packet, picks it up in his mouth, walks to the bin, puts it in the waste paper bin, goes back to the basket, picks up the basket, carries on down the street, goes round the corner, goes round another corner. He walks up to a house, goes through the gate, goes up the path, goes up to the front door, puts the basket down, and scratches on the front door, and then sits down. About 30 seconds later, door opens, bloke pops his head out, he looks down at the dog, picks up the basket, gives the dog a kick, goes inside and slams the door. The butcher's there watching, he's thinking, I'm not having that. It's a bit cruel. So he goes up to the door, knocks on the door. 30 seconds later, door opens and there's the bloke that kicked the dog. The butcher says to him, "You've just kicked that dog." The bloke said, "Yeah." And the butcher said, "That is not a way to treat a highly intelligent animal." The bloke looked at him and said, "Highly intelligent animal? That's the third time this week he's forgotten his key." Right, next one is bloke walking down the street, and his mate pulls up alongside him in the car. He drops the window. He says, "Hey, come here. Do you fancy making some money?" The bloke says, I'm not bothered." He says, "Get my dole tomorrow." He says, "No, I'm talking serious money." So the bloke says, "Well, what do I have to do?" I said, "Tell you what you do. Jump in the car, I'll run you to the bank, jump out the car, run to the bank, knock the security guard out, disable all the security cameras, tie up all the customers, smash the counter screen, jump over the counter, tie up all the staff, blow up the safe, put all the money in the sack, jump back over the counter. He said, I'll be outside in the car, waiting, taking all the risks. He said, what, taking all the risks? He said, yeah, bloody car's not taxed.